What's happening, guys? Um, I'm just waiting for the press conference for the Ghana Panama game to start, the post match press conference. It's delaying a little bit, which means that I have time to be able to put a few words together on the game. I think to start with, we can all agree that that first half performance was not it. As a country, I think um, we need to understand that there are times when honesty supersedes everything. And I think our first half performance on another day, we could have been down 2-3 nil, and it would have been really difficult to recover from that. So big credit to Lawrence Hatizigi. I thought he was our best player in that first half. Um, a really brave goalkeeping from him. Obviously, that uh, you know cost him the rest of the match, as he couldn't come back for the second half. Um, I think the team selection was a little bit problematic. Um, the midfield was a little too light. We're dominated by Panama. I thought Elisha Wusu and the Caleb and pairing um, was okay. I think the biggest problem was the fact that we played Kamaldeen as that third midfielder as a number 10. That experiment didn't work in the first half against Wales. I don't know why we repeated that experiment in this really all important game. And it was obvious. It really couldn't get into the game. Our wingers couldn't get up the field. Semenyo was isolated. He had 6 touches in the first half. It was really below par performance from the entire team. Jordan Ayew, we kept hooping the balls up to him. He couldn't hold on to the ball, and then we just kept doing it. And I didn't understand why we kept playing the ball to him when he couldn't hold on to the ball. So the shape of the team itself was really awful. The midfielders were too isolated from the attackers, and even every time they had the ball, there was basically no space in front of them to operate. So it was a little bit all over the place, to be honest. That first half performance. On top of that, there was a little bit of a lack of sharpness in our team, in our players, and the lack of matches was telling. You could tell Panama were a little bit more up for it at that point than us. We struggled to get into the game. Panama, right from the word go, you know, they kept it going, and they had the better chances, got into the more dangerous zones. Thankfully, we went into the break level. We didn't have a single shot on target. We didn't even have a shot off target in that first half. So, but I think at the start of the second half, we have to give the coach credit. Obviously, that Tiziki change was a forced one, but he also made some really good attacking changes. Brought on Isahaku for Nioma, and then also brought on Thomas Asante um, for um, for for Kamal Dean, and we saw the difference. It was a huge difference after those changes. There was a bit more mobility. Even Semenyo, who struggled in the first half, got into the game a little bit more. But there were still moments where, especially Jordan Ayew in particular, would hold on to the ball much more than necessary. And and so sometimes it's not every time that you need to possess the ball. Sometimes you just need to play the ball, release the ball, and let it go. And there were moments in this game, especially when we were chasing the game, where Jordan just kept holding onto the ball and just wonder, just releasing the ball might have been a much better option. Um, Isahaku got the left back of Panama a yellow card very early on after he came on, and so I thought that those changes really worked. And but I think what really set us on the way was when Jordan went off and then Prince Edukobuna came on. His hold-up play was much better. His link-up play was much better. He moved a lot faster as well. And you can see where the goal came from. But that change also did this. It allowed Anton Semenyo to a bit more freedom. And you saw where he picked up the ball before setting up Thomas Asante, who then squared it to Caleb Bianchi. So that freedom to roam around is what he didn't have in larger spells of the game. But he got that in those last 5 minutes, and we saw the result at the end. So I think we've got three valuable points. So now is not the time to try and pick on individual players. But there will be some players that would go to they look themselves in the mirror and say that that performance, especially in the first half, was absolutely not it. But there are some players as well who would have been really proud with the way they force the issue in this game. Sometimes that's just what needs to happen. I need to single out Caleb Bianchi in particular for praise because to get a yellow card that early in the game and still be able to play the sort of match that he played, I think it's ridiculous for a 19-year-old. And to top it up with the winner, be there at that time. Go back and watch the goal when the move started, where he was, and how he ended up being at the end of that attacking move. Absolutely brilliant for a player of his age. So, 3 points, we march on. The last time we started with 3 points, we went all the way to the quarterfinals. So, I have a good feeling about this one as well. What was important was to get the win, and we got it. Tomorrow, another day, we will do individual assessment of every single player. But I think for me, the biggest winner today has to be the coach. He's worked with very little, to be honest. No friendly matches. He's had only one. And you could tell from the team selection, he's still figuring out his best team. Even against Wales, we saw that the changes in the second half worked much better than the team he started with. This one, too, as well. That's an experienced coach, a coach that is not afraid to make the bold decisions, except he's probably making the bold decisions a little too late in each of those matches. Perhaps it's time to start and force the issues right from the start. Because against England, we read the runners. We don't need players. We don't need to possess the ball. We need runners. We need people that would be willing to go at it right from the start, right from the minutes one. Because that commitment, that extra urge, that extra fire is what is required to take us to the next level. 3 points in the bag. We just need one more point from the remaining two matches, and we are marching into a round of 32. So, from Toronto, I hope you enjoyed the game. I hope the staying up was worth it, because certainly for me, the night continues here. I'm running into the press conference right now. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot.